Sayyidina Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he says that this world is a place of action, not accountability. And tomorrow, on the day of judgment, it will be the day of accountability, not the day of action. Not the day of action. And then at that time, we will cry, my dear Islam brothers. That person, on the day of judgment, he'll be standing in the court of Allah. And he will be, the way I mentioned before, 25,000 years a person will stand on the day of judgment waiting what the decision will be for him. Imagine on that day of judgment where a person will be drowning in his own sweat, will not be able to move 1 inch from that place unless he has given his accounts. Imagine on that day, my dear Islam brothers, when we are waiting for Allah Azza wa Jal to give our accounts, our book of deeds. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, when a person is given the book of deeds in his right hand, he will know Allah is pleased with me. I'm going to go into the gardens of paradise. And imagine a person who will get the book of deed in his left hand. What will happen to him? It says that that person, when he gets the book of deeds in his left hand, he will cry. No one will be there to listen to him. He will plead in the court of Allah. Put yourself in that situation. Put yourself in that situation. All the sins we do every single day, all the sins we commit every day and every night, all them sins we commit, we think to ourselves, no one is looking at us. All them sins we do and we think to ourselves, no one knows. I'm in my room, no one is looking at me. My dear Islam brothers, Allah is always aware. Allah is always looking upon us. And then when we commit these sins, imagine on the day of judgment, 25,000 years will be waiting. Just waiting for the decision what will happen to us. And then it says that the angels, they will come and they will give the book of deed in his left hand. And the person, he will cry. He will beg Allah for his mercy. He will fall in sajda. He will fall in sajda and he will cry in the fear of Allah. No one will listen to him. The angels, they will grab hold of him. And they will drag him. And they will drag him. And they will throw him face first into the fire of hell. Imagine what we've been doing in this world. When we were committing sins, we used to enjoy that. For a few minutes lust, we are jeopardizing our hereafter. For a few minutes lust, and thinking to ourselves that no one is looking at me. And then even committing these sins, we never get the opportunity to cry. Because the wealth of this world and the love of this world is so much engrossed in our hearts, we can't wash it away. And yet if you look at the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Hazrat Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu ta'ala anha, she says, once I saw the Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam, he stood up for salah, and I could see the blessed tears falling from his eyes. I went up to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. After he finished salah, I said, "O Prophet of Allah, may my parents be sacrificed on you. Why are you crying?" And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, today we run away from his sunnahs. Today we find it so difficult to act upon the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And look at what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is doing for us. Sayyida Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu ta'ala anha, she says, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he replied, "O Aisha, when I stood up for salah, I was thinking about my ummah. I was thinking about my ummah, what is going to happen to them on the day of judgment. The sinners from my ummah, who is going to help them. When they walk on the bridge of Sirat, how are they going to pass the bridge of Sirat with safety?" Our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has done so much for us. In return, what are we doing for the deen? What are we doing to keep alive the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? My dear Islamic brothers, how are we going to show our face to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? In one place it says, Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salatu was salam, He came into the court of the Prophet ﷺ, and he started mentioning about the different stages of the fire of hell. And he stopped at the 7th stage. The Prophet ﷺ, he asked him, Jibreel, why have you stopped? Why are you not telling me? And Jibreel alayhi salam, he said, O Prophet of Allah, those people from your ummah who drink alcohol, who commit adultery, who miss their salah, will be burning in that stage of the fire of hell. And how many namaz have we missed? The Prophet ﷺ, he says, whoever misses one namaz, he's causing pain to my eyes. And we miss so many namaz. Can't wake up for Fajr namaz. Too busy during the day to read our Asr and Maghrib. Isha is going to be too late. I've got to wake up in the morning, go to work. On the other hand, we are not listening. We are not looking at the life of the Prophet ﷺ, how much he would cry for us. My dear Islamic brothers, remember, 3 things will go with you in the grave, and 2 or 3 things will accompany you to the graveyard. 2 of them will return, 1 of them will go with you. And the Prophet ﷺ, he says, oh my companions, those 2 things that we will accompany to the graveyard is your family and your wealth. Only your action will go inside the grave. What are we going to take inside the grave? What actions have we done? Hazrat Sayyidina Fateh Mosili rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi, whenever he would cry in the fear of Allah, he used to cry blood. His tears changed into blood. He was once asked, why did you cry? Allah Ta'ala, he asked him, why did you cry? He replied, I was crying because of my lack of worship. And then he was asked, why were you crying tears of blood? And he says, because I did not believe in my tears. I did not believe in my tears. And he says, what was your reason, O Allah? He says, I wanted to meet you and saw that you can forgive me. Allah Azza wa Jal replied, look at these people who used to cry blood of tears. He says that Allah Azza wa Jal, he says, O Fateh Masili, for 40 years the angels brought me your actions, and I found not even one sin during that time. And they cried tears of blood. And today, we just laugh it off. Whenever someone talks about the fear of Allah, we laugh it off. It's not going to happen to us. It's not going to happen to us. But we'll find that on the Day of Judgment. It could be one of us.